Hey, buenos días, Pastor Junior. And hey, you know what? I was thinking about this statement que dice, some people continue to change jobs, mates, and friends, right? Some people continue to change jobs, mates, and friends, but never think about changing themselves, right? What was the statement again? He said, no, it says like this, right? It says some people continue to change jobs, mates, friends, but never think about changing themselves. But you know what? That reminded me of John chapter 4, right? John chapter 4 is the woman sought fulfillment in multiple relationships, which left her thirsty and unfulfilled, right? Once again, with the statement que dice, some people continue to change jobs, mates, and friends, but never think about changing themselves, right? I think that spoke volume. But hey, it reminded me of John chapter 4 once again, right? John chapter 4, que dice, well, you have the woman in the well, right? And Jesus met the woman in the well, and you know, he told her, hey man, right? What did he tell her? He told her, right? Jesus stated, everyone who drinks this water will continue to thirst again, right? In John chapter 4 verse 13, Jesus stated this. He says, everyone who drinks of this water will thirst again, right? In verse 14 says, but whoever drinks of the water that I give will not thirst again, right? In verse 15 she said, man, give me some of this water so I don't have to come back to this well, right? And in verse 16 he told her, well, go call your husband. And then verse 17 says, she responded, I have no husband, right? And then verse 18, he said, yes, you said correctly, you've had 5 husbands, and the one you're living with right now is not your husband, right? But notice what she said, right? Notice what she said in verse 15. She says, give me some of this water, right? John chapter 4 verse 15. She says, give me some of this water so I won't thirst again and come to this well again. So I don't have to come to this well again. Right? Homegirl was thirsty, right? Once again, with the statement that he says, some people continue to change jobs, mates, and friends, but never think about changing themselves, right? John chapter 4. It says the woman sought fulfillment in multiple relationships, right? Because she had 5 husbands, and the one she's living with is not her husband, right? Which left her what? Which left her thirsty and unfulfilled, right? Jesus used what? Jesus used physical water, which represents unending satisfying relationships with God. With God can bring a foundation. It can, right? This is once again, it says for living water, which represents unending satisfying relationship with God, that can only be found in Him, right? That can only be found in Him, and not in worldly pursuits or other people, right? That's the word of exhortation, man. The word of exhortation is, you know, Jesus used physical water as a metaphor for living water, which represents unending satisfying relationship with God. So it's the Lord, man. It's in God where you're going to find fulfillment, right? and not worldly pursuits, right? Or with other people. It's with the Lord. It's with the Lord. Anyways, just wanted to give you guys an exhortation there, right? With the word that says, some people continue to change jobs, mates, and friends, but never think about changing themselves, right? So you have the woman in the well. The woman in the well in John chapter 4. Anyway, just a word of encouragement. God bless you guys.